If Bitcoin is able to pull this move off exactly how it should happen, it is going to rock the market. It is going to shock the world. It will engrave its place in history to show that it made an all-time high prior to the Bitcoin halving, and then at the first possible chance it made a huge breakout to make all-time new highs. Will Europe, London, America and Asia on the 22nd of April manage to make an all-time new high in one day, and then we start this move to the upsides? The only way to find out is by keep watching the market, but right now it looks like it's about to break out. It looks like it's going to happen. It looks like the European markets are going to be that initial catalyst to push it through a higher prices, ready for America to come in and then push it even higher. We've got the west coast of America still awake. We've still got some other countries still awake right now, helping this market to push higher. Is Bitcoin going to be able to do it? Do you believe it's going to be able to do it? I think so. It's looking like it's brewing. The water is boiling and it is ready to explode. Hello and welcome to this video. My name's David Thorne and you are watching David's Videos. Now, if you are new to my channel, I predominantly make videos about programming or talking about my life in Germany. But over the past month or so, I've been talking about the Bitcoin price because it is just really so interesting. If you want to check out any previous videos that I've made, come over to this Bitcoin price analysis playlist and you can go and scroll back through all of the different views that I had on the Bitcoin price over the past coming weeks, and they are all annotated with the change that they've had on that one day. If you are new to Bitcoin and you've just suddenly heard about Bitcoin making all-time new highs or the Bitcoin halving, and should you get into Bitcoin right now, predominantly I would say no, right? But there is a likelihood is that this is going to break out today, and we are at a euphoric high, but we have euphoric news, we have a euphoric situation, and there is a chance that this will break out to massive high prices right now. So there would be nothing wrong in investing a small amount into this to test the waters, but you need to have the expectation that you are possibly going to lose money too. There is high risk in this, but the chance of it exploding over this coming week is higher than the likes of it going down. We can see already that it started with a strong 7 hours in the Bitcoin price. The question is, can it continue over the course of the day? The question is, can the European markets, can London and Europe and the final hours of people awake in the west coast of America, can they be the ones that are going to push this higher as well? Are they going to consolidate together to push prices higher? But the question is, who is going to be selling the Bitcoin? If all of the sellers just pull out and they say, no, we're not selling anything until the price goes up to 80,000, the Bitcoin asset is already super scarce. So what I'm trying to say is that if no one says they're going to sell here, and no one says they're going to sell here, we are just going to see this rapid price movement going up. We don't need lots of volume for it. We just need demand. And if there isn't any supply, then the price will move up really, really quickly. And once the price does move up really, really quickly, then the sentiment from the market will be, I need to get in now. The FOMO will kick in and everyone will just be buying constantly. And then I will guess that the sellers will come in. But it will be more than likely, if it can push through back up to the 66, 67,000 mark, then the momentum will come in and everyone that's been waiting for this move will go in hard, ready for that one big move. And there will be more than likely people with people leveraged up to the max, ready to take this move on. And that will be the huge catalyst that pushes this price higher. Will we see a correction on this? Will we see a short squeeze? More than likely. But as you can see right now, there is a chance that the price will push through this and go higher today, tomorrow and Wednesday. And then the likelihood Thursday and Friday, it will snap back down again. So if you are wanting to take a gamble, if you are wanting to get into Bitcoin right now, then I would advise buying just a small piece here. And then if it does make that breakout, and when it does come back down again, reinvest again, right? And if it comes back down here to here, then you've only lost a little bit on this money. And if it bounces off this and goes back up again, then reinvest again, ready for that one big move. But if it comes up to here and it snaps right back down again, then cut your losses here, get out, because it's going to make a low. So this is the whole point of a gamble. If you're willing to gamble a little bit. Now, if you're looking for a long-term investment, then this is the opposite of what you should be doing. You should just be buying a little bit, buying a little bit, buying a little bit, and just keep going all the time. Maybe over today, every couple of hours, and then tomorrow again, and Wednesday again, and just see how it goes. And then come Wednesday, if it's pushed through, then just sit back and wait for it to make that kind of reaction to the market. And if it does make that reaction to the market and it sticks, then go in again and again and again and again. But if we see this big short squeeze and it comes pumping back down again, then just slow down on what you're investing into it. But right now, you've got lower prices, and it would be, there's nothing, I wouldn't say there's anything wrong with you getting in right now. With that said, I just want to say to you that I am not a financial advisor, right? I'm just a guy sat in front of a monitor talking to a microphone about the price of Bitcoin going up and down with regards to my own investments, all right? So I invested my money, let's call it FOMO, back in 2021, around about the 50,000, and I dollar cost averaged in all the way down to about 38,000, I think it was. And now, obviously, my money is all in profit, and I have taken good profits, and I've also switched that money over to Solana. Well, the profits I've taken, I have put a lot of it into Solana, and my Solana position now is huge compared to what it was before. And I've put a little bit more money into some of the other altcoins, just as kind of like a bit of a diversity, a just in case, I'm just going to put it in as a gamble. If any of them explode, then at least I know I've got that money in there. But the bulk of my money is in Bitcoin, and the bulk of my money is also in Solana. And over the other time we've saved money, I've starting to put money now into the likes of Tesla, Apple, the Magnificent Seven that are all low. And when the others come down as well, I will be invested into them as well. But the likelihood is that, today I will be investing hard over the week into CleanSpark, Riot, and Tesla on every single day if the price moves down and down. So this is what I'm doing right now, is that the Tesla is one of those things that is going to go up in the future. It has potential. It has growth. It is not a car company. It is a robotics company, basically, that is just going to go up in the future anyway. So, and the likes of Apple and Amazon and Microsoft and Facebook, these are just people that are going to run the world more than likely over the next 10, 15, 20 years, especially with Nvidia and so on. So, but you came here for the Bitcoin price, but they are really all interlinked. I must say, they're all based upon technology. They're all about moving forward with the times. But Bitcoin is all about hedging against inflation, with the American government and the other central banks literally just creating money continuously on a daily basis to support any geopolitical situation. You need to put your money into hedge against this inflation. Now, I'm not saying put all of your money in, but at least putting some of it in, because if it stays in your bank account, it is going to depreciate anyway because of the central banks and also the governments literally just debasing your money, devaluing your money anyway. So if you do have some savings, I wouldn't suggest putting all of it in, but let's just say 5% or 10% of your savings, put it into Bitcoin. And if you put it in today, and just blindly today and then wait 4 years, it will definitely have made profit, And if it hasn't, then everyone is wrong, all right? Everyone that's invested into Bitcoin is wrong. And there are people that are investing hundreds of millions and billions into Bitcoin on a daily basis. So is it fear of missing out? Yes, it is. But is it taking the intelligent step, taking some of your money, a small percentage, and putting it into Bitcoin right now? Yes. Would I put it all in at once? No. I would put it in maybe today on an hourly basis at a tiny amount, and then tomorrow put some more in on an hourly amount. Now, the faster it moves up, the quicker it's going to come back down again. But if we get good solid movement, and with corrections coming back down to 50% every single time, and it keeps moving up, then it is a safe bet to put it in. And what I'm saying is that here, if it moves up really harsh and it comes back down to make a correction of say 50% and then comes back up again, comes back down, makes another correction and keeps going up like this all the time, then this is a healthy way of moving, of the market moving up. We are already in a bull market. We have been in a bull market for quite a while now. Well, in the Bitcoin, you can see that since like August 2023, you can see the price has continuously gone up, and the S&P 500 is making a small correction right now. A lot of the things have been in a long bull market for a long time, and this is some form of volatile consolidation here. Are we going to see higher prices? Well, the sentiment of the market is saying to go up. The way that the governments are spending money is saying going up. So you would be a fool really to go against the tide. This is the way the market is moving, and it is kind of telling us which way it wants to go. Now, if Bitcoin is able today, tomorrow and Wednesday, for example, to push through this, like 3 solid candles to get the sentiment of the market behind this move, then they will get the momentum behind it. Bitcoin is all about sentiment and all about momentum. Other stocks like Tesla and AMD and Nvidia and Intel, it's all about technology. It's all about their products. It's all about their growth. But Bitcoin is all about hedging against inflation, right? This is what it's about. It needs that emotional side of it, but it also needs the transactions. It needs those people to put it in. The market could move with $1, right? If someone has $1 but no one wants to sell any Bitcoin, right, the market will move huge up. But if someone has $1 and everyone wants to sell it, then the market could move in a different direction. So it's all about how many people are participating in the market. If there are people wanting to buy something but no one is selling, then there is only one way the price can go, and it can go up. Now, there are people buying Bitcoin through the spot ETFs, through BlackRock, through Grayscale, through ARK or whatever. There are people buying it, and we have just seen the amount of Bitcoin that's generated per day go from 900 to 450 over the weekend. So that is literally like someone is buying 450 Bitcoin every single day without fail. Right, and in 4 years' time, that will happen once again. So the question is where are these Bitcoins going to come from that people are going to sell? And if there's only 450 being made and they have to come through the miners, and the miners aren't selling them either, and the long-term the Bitcoin holders, the hodlers that have bought them back in the day are not selling them either, then who is selling them? It must be then the short-term buyers that have got in and going to get out again, but that can't be that much. So the money has to come, or the Bitcoin has to come from somewhere. And the more and more people that are after this scarce asset, the higher the price will go. So the question for you right now is that if you are new to Bitcoin and you want to get in, do you have the temperament to be able to understand that you are going to lose a part of your money at one point? Can you still sleep at a night time? Can you look at your money and say, I've just lost 30% of it, right? Or can you be disciplined to put your money in bit by bit by bit and just literally not look at the price? Because if you can do that one, and you know, this money I invest in now is long term and it is not there short term, then it doesn't matter what price you put your money into today and tomorrow, because this money is going to work for you over a couple of years. Look at our money that we put in. You know, we went in. If you could have said what the thing not to do, right? Me and my wife, we did it. Ultimately, I was the one that pulled the trigger, let's say. But me and my wife, we agreed upon investing in, and we did. And we went in. And it was very, very painful. But the most painful thing that we have today, right, is that we didn't invest at the bottom when there was blood on the street, when there was people there screaming and shouting to say that Bitcoin was going to zero. We didn't invest there. And this was the biggest mistake we made, right? But buying at the top is a big mistake. However, there are people in this world that will go with the flow. Now, the question is, are we at the top of this one move? And have we seen a correction? And is what we've seen here a correction and then some form of consolidation ready for the next move up? And if we are on a consolidation ready for the next move up, that would mean we are not at the top. We're just going with the market. The market is the master, and the master is telling us it's going up. It's very, very much still going up, and the sentiment is saying it's going up. And if the whole market is saying we want it to move up, and there's no other things out there saying that it will go down. And right now, the governments are printing money non-stop. The interest rates, they're normal interest rates. Go back 20 years, and that's normal interest rates. When I was a child, 5% was normal, right? So when it starts hitting 8, 9, 10%, that's when you should start worrying. But having zero interest rates or negative interest rates, that's not normal. So what we have today is a normal set of interest rates, and people haven't been saving their money. And you need to save money for the future. You need to look at your retirement. You need to look at for these things. And if you're going to keep your money in a fiat currency that's getting debased all the time, then that's your own fault. You've got to put money aside for your future when you retire. Retirement is such an important thing. And if you don't look after your future, today you can look after your future, and by taking 5% of your earnings every single month and putting it into Bitcoin, well, every year at the moment, the inflation is supposed to be 2% or 2.5%. So what they're saying is the money last year has lost 2.5% of its value. So if you can get 5% at a minimum in interest or in growth in Bitcoin over the year, only 5%, that's a joke. Bitcoin can do 5% in a day. Right? And over this year, we don't even want to look what it is this year because it's huge, right? And Solana and so on. So this is the question right now. The moves that we're looking for is strength to the upside. The price of Bitcoin has come up, and this is my arguments, right, for why it could be okay to invest into Bitcoin right now. And I'm saying could be okay. My advice would be to sit it out and wait, but it could be that move has been done now, and that people wanted it to go down, but there was more people wanting it to go up than it was going down. And it had that one move up, it had a big sell-off to come down, right? We saw there was a massive sell-off here, but the buyers just jumped in and took it back up again. It tried to come down, they didn't let it. It went back up. They weren't letting it go to make a new high. It came back down again, but the buyers were just too strong. And it got to roughly about 50%, pushed it back up, made an all-time new high in the wick, right? But it showed it had potential to go higher. It couldn't make an all-time new high, a record all-time new high, but it went sideways for at least 4 days or 5 days, sorry, before it started dipping down. And now it's gone down, and you can see that the buyers at this level have said, no, we're not going any further. And we can see now, whilst I'm speaking, the price is moving up. And if it closes above this red line, that is the 15 EMA. So it is making higher average prices. And that is a key thing to be looking at. And if we move now into the 4-hour time frame, I've actually said it right the first time, we can see it's making these 3 candles. And what you need is 3 solid candles moving up to show the sentiment and the momentum is there. And once we get this, we may see a correction on this next one to come back and test these levels, to test, are the buyers still there? Is this a real move? So right now, all we need to have is one candle, 2 candles. We need this candle, which is 4 hours. So we need to go through to 10 o'clock. Well, we've got the European markets opening and the London market opening, one in 14 minutes and the other in 1 hour and 14 minutes. So there's a high likelihood that it can make this move. All right. We're talking about probabilities here. We're not talking about gambling. The probabilities are higher that it can make this move. Okay. So remember, we haven't had our confluence yet. If you bought in right now some money And then if it made the next move on the hourly time frame, let's have a look on the hourly time frame. Here we have a good solid candle with volume we want, and we've got then a sideways candle. That was fine because it showed there was some agreement in price. It didn't come back down again, and now we've got another move to the top. So we've got 13 more minutes. If this candle can close like this, and the next candle can show more strength to move up, this would be good enough to get into a trade, not a big trade, but would be good enough because it's proving it's got the momentum there. Now, if it does snap back down to here, right, then you should pause and think, well, okay, wait a minute, it is coming back down again. And if it comes back down to here, you see it didn't have the strength. It was some fake out to the upside, ready to bring the price back down here. But then if you have got a long-term investment in your mind, then that's okay. Just invest a small bit in there, right? And if it comes down to this level here, if it comes below it, I'd wait for it to come down here and then put a small bit in again, because there's a probability that it will get rejected on this level, all right? There was lots of buying down here, so there's a probability it would get rejected on this level. Now, if it doesn't get rejected on this level and it goes down even further, we can come back out to the 4-hour time frame. And here we see this massive dump here right now. Okay, and I would only assume that there will be crazy amount of buying down here. We could see a wick, but that's where I'd sit and be patient and wait for this big move down here. Okay, so you really are going to get Bitcoin if the move comes down here. Let's go from both sides of the market here, right? Let's say that you put some money in right now and we don't see that move up, but we see it test down here. You wait to see whether it can, whether it's going to go through this line hard. If it doesn't go in, put another small bit of money in here. Another small bit of money in here, just a small bit, just to test it. If it does go up, you've now got a bigger position. And if it comes up again and it can get through, put it in here again, and then we should have the breakout, right? So at least you know you've got some in, and it would come up to maybe here, correct again, go in again, ready for it to go up. And you've incrementally gone in. But that would prove to us that we've got sentiment is going up and the momentum is going up. Now, and we have a rally, right? The most important thing is you want to see a rally going up. You want to see people getting behind the market. And right now we see these 3 candles on a 4-hourly basis saying we want the price to go up. But we need it to continue, all right? Just gambling saying it's going to go up is not right. We need to see confluence. We need to see the market agreeing with the higher prices. Now, if it does reject on here and there is some form of short squeeze or something, there is some form of short squeeze, or there is lots and lots of people selling up here, then we could see the market snap back down again, and we could see maybe no buyers here, and the buyers might have moved to down here, right? Because it's all about finding where the buyers are and where the sellers are. So let's assume there is lots of selling up here, and the buyers have left here, and all of the big buyers are down here. So it snaps back down to here, and we see like a rejection there, and zooms back up again. And if the sellers have moved from here now and they've gone, let's say, up here, we might see prices go back up. Remember, we're still in a very much, let's zoom back out again. We're still in a very much volatile sideways movement. So we should expect the market to test these zones. And if it doesn't want to go up, we should expect it to come back down again. There are 3 options of where it's going to go over the next 3 days. That it's going to go sideways here, it's going to go up, it's going to go down. Now, what happens after those 3 days is how the markets decide, right? Because remember, these markets, they only have 5 days to trade. And so they have, say, 3 days to push the market, then they have 2 days to take profits. Or they have 1 day to let everyone else jump on the train to push the price up even higher, and then come Friday, sell it off. And we know that on Friday, we saw that some people, let's call them, some investors that were maybe super clever, or they manipulated the price, could have bought Bitcoin down here. So what they are expecting, and what they planned to see, was that come Monday, that the markets up until, say, like 4 o'clock, remember, at 4 o'clock, you've got the American market open, you've got the London market open, and you've got the European market open, all of them actively open. So what it can be is that some of those markets bought down here, they drove the price down to buy as low as possible, and they're going to spend the day pushing it up. And if the market gets behind it, I'm guessing they'll push it up even higher. And if Asia is going to get behind it as well. Now, let's remember that there are different offices of different banks and different institutions sat in London, sat in Frankfurt, sat in New York, sat in Asia, and so on. And if they're all working together knowing we're going to push the price up, and if it gets to a price up here, that's when we're all going to sell. If they're all working together, then you'll know that come up here, there's going to be lots of people selling. Now, if they're not working together, then it's just whoever wants to sell at the time. But these people, they have enough money to move the markets, so they have to go in slowly, and they have to push the market up in small levels. Otherwise, if they buy into the market too quickly, they will flood the market, and they will push the market up too fast with their own orders, which means they can't get in. If they're buying 100 million of Bitcoin, or sorry, $100 million of Bitcoin, they can't just go and put one order in at a time. There needs to be people on the other side of that one trade. So they have to make a market first of all. They have to entice the sellers in. Remember, if they're buying, they have to entice sellers in. And the way they want to entice sellers in is either to draw the price down to make them think the price is going to go lower, so then they can get on that one side. The sellers are only ever going to come in as well if they think that they're in a profit. So in the middle, why would people sell in the middle? Because if they sell in the middle, then they would be thinking, okay, it looked like it was going to go low and it went back up again, so now let's get out of our position, right? So there's a whole bunch of different variations on this, but the question is just to keep looking at the market and keep saying, is it doing what it's expected to do? We can see here that there was a sell-off here, and the price has moved nicely through that one sell-off. And then we had this blue candle, which is volume, and we can see that it's managed to break through this one area. So we can move this candle, and we can say now that there was lots of selling. There was lots of selling here now, but we can see some form of consolidation on this one candle, agreements that possibly this is, people are agreeing upon this price. So it means that people are buying and selling at the same one price. But these candles, there were always people moving their selling price. They were offering their price always higher, which was pushing the price up. So we have 4 minutes. So we have 5 minutes left on this. Is this just an area where people are selling off, and are we going to see the next move after this, or is this a possible top? But you can see from the Bollinger Bands that it's still very much not overbought, right? And it's staying by the 5 EMA. The 8 EMA and the 15 EMA are there. So if it comes back down again and tests the 15 EMA, you can see it's just taking a small breather. So we would expect to see, if this is just the move itself, we can expect to see at least the price coming back down to, say, 61.5 to test that and then go back up again. Or we could see it coming down to, say, 61.3 to test this to go back up again. But we've still got the European markets to open at 8 o'clock. Now, previously, when we saw the big moves up, the market tended to move at 7:30 and prior to the European markets opening. And it looks like this is exactly happening right now. The people are jumping on, the price is moving up. And let's have a look where, let's dump all this here. Let's have a look where the liquidity is, right? There's going to be people selling, I'm guessing here, right? But if the price moves up quickly, that means that no one is really selling, because the price has to move quickly to jump to the next people selling. Now, if there are only people buying small amounts of Bitcoin, this won't move the market so much. But if there's people jumping in with, say, orders of 100 Bitcoin, 200 Bitcoin, 300, they have to find the sellers. And that means that the order book, they have to move through the order book to fill that order. And once that order is filled in its entirety, it can be that it moves 0.5%, 1% to fill that order in its whole. So you can't just expect someone to buy 100 Bitcoin and then there'll be someone at one exact price selling 100 Bitcoin and there's only one other person wanting to buy it. There's more than likely 10,000 people all wanting to buy Bitcoin at that one price, all fighting for it. So the order book is going to have to move to fill all of those orders at the same time. But when the price moves quickly like this, that means it's skipping through prices, because some people might say, no, I only want to buy Bitcoin at this price if I can buy it at this price. They don't want to have an average price. Anyway, that's something different. So we are seeing this move now, and blue shows us we've got lots of volume. So with that said, I think we are seeing the likes of this one movement happening. Now remember, it has to get through this one's zone here. I would be pretty certain that there are sellers here, and the sellers are going to sell hard here. Now, if there aren't any sellers here, then we could assume the sellers are then here, right? Now, if there aren't sellers there, then we can say that the sellers are up here, right? And if there aren't sellers there, well, I don't know where they are. Well, we've still got two more ranges to go here. So we know that there is 100% going to be sellers up here, right? So the question is how far can this go today, and where are the sellers? If it was me and I was wanting to sell lots of Bitcoin and I see this right now, I wouldn't sell here. I'd be putting my limit orders there right now, because I'm thinking, wait a minute, if I maybe wait another 4 hours, the price could go up even higher. But why would I want to sell now if you're going to see possible future prices? You can see a move happening. It's better to wait for the big move than get out on the move earlier, right? There's no reason right now to sell, because you can see the price going higher. So if you are looking to take profits, then until you see some form of correction, right? But you need a market reaction for this first of all. And we still see good strength going up. So once you see a market reaction, this candle here was a reaction to it. It was to say we all agree upon this price, and this is the next pump up. So if the next candle after this in 1 minute continues on, that's the market reaction. It's reacting saying we agree with it and we go further. Now if it goes sideways once again, then that would be the reaction to say we agree upon the price. But until we see a pullback coming down here for people to agree that this price here is a lower limit now, ready to move up again, you're looking for that market reaction. And the market reaction is like this. The price went up and then snapped back down again. This is a reaction, right? But the price never broke the lower. Okay, this one wick, you could say it did, but it stopped there. So people jumped in there, but it never broke it, and it went up higher. And we haven't seen this price now, this trend here, we haven't seen it have any weakness right now. It's gone up and down. It's done what it's supposed to do. So until we see it come back, if we draw the Fibonacci level here, and if we just draw it to here, and until we see it come back to down to say like 59,000, let's call it, it's got at least that amount of room to come back down to go back up again. It could come down to 61.8 down here and still move back up again and be an upwards trend. It is allowed as the market principles to come and make some form of market reaction, some form of correction, ready to move up. That's testing the water. It's testing the market, seeing where the buyers are and where the sellers are. So anyway, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've got something out of this one video. Remember, only get into Bitcoin, only get into cryptocurrencies if you're willing to go on the losing side as well. Now, in order to not be on the losing side, is you have to make sure you go with the market. Don't go against the market. right now, as I've said in this video, the long-term probability of the price going up is high. Long term, I mean a year, 2, 3, and 4. That is the long-term expectation, is that the price will go up. Will the price go down long term? Absolutely yes. Okay, if we come out to here and we just draw an arbitrary line going through, at one point for it to be the average price, it's got to see lower prices to keep this as an average price. If it keeps going up, this average price is going to keep going up with it as well. So in order for this to be an average line, we have to see prices go beneath it and above it to keep that average line. So if you're getting in right now, you have to understand it's going to go down again. If it is going to go down again, and you can accept that, and you don't buy in here, then why did you buy in here, right? The whole point now is that you buy in here on the understanding that it's going to go down again, and then you buy in here, and then when it comes up here, you know, okay, it's made a new high. I'm not going to buy higher here, because what do I know? I know that it's going to come and test these one levels, and I'm going to buy in here once again. And when it does it again, you know that it is going to test those make a new high. Then it's going to come and test these levels once again. So you buy in there once again. Now, when you know it's made, say, like 2 or 3 moves going up, then the overall market, the bigger market, is going to say, I want to come down and make another correction of myself. So if this is one move, then we've got to expect it to come and make a correction from the bigger move. And as long as it doesn't do, say, more than 50% of this one move, then we should see higher prices. And then this continues on once again. The whole pattern just keeps continuing time and time again. But you have to accept the ups and the downs, but ultimately only buy into a market when you see it moving in the direction that you want it to move. And you need to see confirmation too. Now, this is a very difficult thing to grasp, right? But sometimes you shouldn't buy at the top, right? But you should buy when there's confirmation that the market is moving. It's a little bit counterintuitive for people to say don't buy at the top, but if you don't know, you have to find out it's the bottom first. And how can you find out that it's the bottom of the market? Well, just through experience looking at this, I mean, us using it now, we can see that the market's bottom here was very low and it went literally sideways for a long time, right? So, and if anything, you can see the market died here, right? And in order to know the market died once, you really need to see it die a second time. You know what I mean? There's no proof in it if it can't do it twice. Let's see, it came down once and it came down twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then boom, it went up. It went up and it came down, then it went up again. So really, we can see that the market wasn't dead there because it didn't test it twice, right? And there was still momentum going up. So it came up, it came down again, and it didn't meet that one area, right? But it came down again and tested it. But this was just making a market reaction to this previous move. It was testing it. There was the smaller moves. Then it came down and made a move, went up, and it just made a bigger market move. And this downward is relevant to this whole thing. These smaller moves are relevant to the previous move it's just made. So always have the bigger picture in mind, and always have long term in mind as well. If you're investing for your future pensions, then you shouldn't care whether it goes up or down, because you would want the money to be there in 10, 15, 20 years time. Okay, with that said, thank you very much for watching. Let's just have a quick final scan back at what it's doing and how it's doing. Yeah, let's just keep positivity and see what the London market can do. Thank you very much for watching. If it does make a new high today, I don't think it will, I will make another video. Other than that, stay vigilant. Remember, markets are not about emotions. There shouldn't be any emotions in the markets, and do your own due diligence too. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao, and goodbye.